everybody, and welcome to North 100, a Canadian Highlander podcast. My name is Serge. Joining me today, we have a Nelly.
Turtle.
We have a Wheeler.
Splinter taught them to be ninja teens.
And on tech, we have a James.
I have nothing to add to this conversation.
As per usual.
A reminder that everything we do is brought to you by you with your support of the Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. See any sweet TNMT cards you want to pick up? cardkingdom.com/LRR. You can buy your singles there, or in the States, sealed product. Did I get it wrong?
You hit us with the Teenage Ninja Mutant Turtles.
No. Oof. Ninjas in a turtle shell. No, I'm joking.
Half power.
And if you want to protect your cards, use the best Dragon Shield at their website store checkout. You can use LRRMTG5 for 5% off. All right, hello and welcome to the Checks Notes Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's big. That apparently I've been getting that wrong my entire life.
Did you thank the patrons?
Yes, I started with that.
Okay.
If enough of you...
Did you thank the ninjas or the teens?
I did, but I did it silently.
Okay, good.
If enough people go to patreon.com/loadingreadyrun, we can get Serge officially diagnosed with dyslexia.
We can also...
just joking about
Serge has opted in to have a turtle shell surgically placed on his back.
Oh my God, it'll get rid of my neck hunch.
No.
Replace it with a new better.
Wait, hold on. Wait, it doesn't help?
Well, it'll make it worse, but there will be a different pain for you to focus
great.
on.
Okay.
We're already a side sleeper, right?
Yes, but that's not what we're to hear about. We're talking about turtles, all
Makes
right?
spooning real
I'm
awkward.
talking about turtles.
Welcome to our set review. Today we're covering white, blue, black, and red cards. A reminder for our set reviews, this is not exhaustive. We do not talk about every single card in the set. Instead, only the cards that we think are going to make a splash. And speaking of a splash, we've splashed a lot of other supplemental product into this. This isn't just the base set. There's like Commander face cards and other I don't even know what all this product is
Pizza
called.
boxes.
Yeah, Canadian Highlander is a format where you play every card.
Yeah. So if you're looking at a card and you're like, I did not see this in the set, it's somewhere in the product and you can play it in our format, and that's cool and good. Speaking of cool and good, Wheeler, start us off with our first card, Agent Bishop, Man in Black. This is a 3-mana 1/2 legendary human soldier for 2 and a white. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures.
So this card will kill people. Luminarch Aspirant, Siege Veteran. This isn't exactly that card, or those cards rather, but those cards are really good in multiples, right? Repeatedly adding counters. Not looking to talk too much about a dedicated counters deck with this one, though that would be fine too. You know, Selesnya or Green-White +X. But more so that this is a human with Ancient Tomb mana that puts 1/1 counters on multiple creatures. It is a 1/2. It is a legend that can be Caracas, but the places where you're likely to play this don't care about Caracas as much, or can overwhelm them or disrupt the Caracas. And it being a 1/2, well, it's not going to be a 1/2 for long. It's basically the kind of card, we've seen this before, we'll continue seeing this, where you need to kill this the turn it shows up, ideally before they even get to combat, and you can do that. That's possible. It dies to Lightning Bolt. If you don't, you're probably going to die to this card. Yeah, this pretty neat. I'm excited to try it out.
Is there a history of cards that put counters like this every combat? Obviously, there's ones that enter and like buff your whole board, but like a Luminarch Aspirant that buffs 2 creatures.
We have a couple. I mean,
interesting. Okay.
They're pretty rarely played, yeah.
Yeah, like the good ones are played, and they're not played, you know, in a dedicated deck for you know, counters, because that's what makes them good. They could go anywhere, right?
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of the carnivorous plant from Duskborn. Just in the main set.
fly trap.
Fly trap, yeah, carnivorous fly trap. Now that one's while it doesn't get hosed by Caracas, it does require that you have Delirium before it does like anything at all. It's just a 2/4 for 3 with like no abilities unless you have Delirium. But then yes, it can spread out and add multiple counters per turn. And that card honestly still sees play.
Honestly, probably underrated.
It's
like
fine.
that card can kill people. And certainly another card that is seeing play, not seeing enough play, is a Roboroid.
Oh my God.
Yeah. The standard players bought them all.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think
Canadian Highlander players hate paying
I
top
think
dollar for a new card.
my evaluation on that card was like, I don't know if you need this, but because like there's so many good 4-drops and it's easy to kill, but if you don't kill it, you die.
Yes.
Turns out that was incorrect. I need to put the words like extremely and
must
very
kill.
in front of everything.
Must kill.
Yeah,
right.
You must kill this,
Or you will,
are
yeah.
extremely dead. You are so dead, and you look at it, and you're like, "How am I losing to this card? How did I not?"
If
have
we want to go in,
a
it's like
swords or
the
whatever?
story on that is Cameron, well-respected Jund player, winky face to people in the community, has a line where he goes mana dork into the Huntsmaster's path,
Huntsman's Redemption,
the Huntsman's Redemption into Ouroboros,
Roberoid.
Sure.
and you're just dead. Like it is exactly lethal. If he's on the play with an elf,
Yeah.
he kills you turn 4.
Yeah, like this is a calculated line from that Jund list of
Yeah.
like if this is how I like if I go dork into this,
If I have dork and that in my hand, you are dead turn 4 if you don't have any interaction.
which is so dope and worth having. You know, when you're playing a deck like that against,
and that's not even a
Jund
dedicated
deck.
+1/+1 deck,
against combo.
right? That's
Yeah.
just a mid-range deck running
Right.
Ouroboros.
Roboroid, yeah.
Roberoid.
Oh my god, what a mouthful!
Yeah, it's
You can say Rob
Ouroboros.
if you
It's
want to say
Ouroboros plus Oid.
Yep.
Anyways, Agent Bishop, it's not a Roberoid, but it'll still kill you.
Yep. Next up, Koya, Death from Above. This is a 3-mana 2/1 legendary mutant ninja bird for 2 and a white. It has flying, and when Koya enters, exile up to 1 other target creature. At the beginning of the next end step, you may pay 3 and a black. If you don't, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. Nelly.
Hey, so on the surface, this is like a limited Heartstabber Mosquito. Mostly what you're going to want to do with this if you're playing the TMNT pre-release is pay 7 to kill their thing. In our format, we're probably looking to just pair it with our own Caracas and our Spellseeker or Eternal Witness. Like you can get the like infinite turns off of instead of Ephemerate, like this thing plus Caracas, if you have the Eternal Witness. And then besides that, I don't know, the body is like not that bad if you want to have more flyers in your D&T list. It's not a human, but like it does give you that flexible sort of flicker wisp trigger.
Yeah.
That's about it. That's all I see with this card.
It's just got a unique set of traits. All of them kind of they're desirable, right?
Yeah.
Like you like the Flicker Wisp style thing.
Honestly,
You like that
legendary
it's a
Flicker
legend.
Wisp is huge,
Yeah.
right? With
Yeah.
your own Caracas, that
Sure.
like that just shuts stuff down.
Bricking, the fact that you can like blink their tokens, like their
Yep.
constructs or whatever, but also just reset your own things. It's shockingly fine.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. It just
Don't
checks-
overthink this one.
Yeah, it checks off a lot of boxes. I wouldn't be scared to try it, is kind of my
Yep.
suggestion.
I'm excited. All right, next up, Leader's Talent. This is a class. Classes are back. Should I talk about?
Yeah.
Yeah. So classes are level upable enchantments. Sagas are an enchantment where every turn it goes up by 1. Instead, on this, the card enters play with the top box unlocked, and then every other box you see has a cost and then associated ability from it. So much like the creatures that we leveled up that we talked about in Lorwyn, it has the same sort of progression.
Yeah, we had classes in Bloomborough most recently,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So if you've been playing since then.
So 1 and a white, Leader's Talent enters. Whenever you attack, put a +1/+1 counter on target attacking creature. For 2 and a white and level 2, whenever a creature you control leaves the battlefield, if it had a counter on it, gain 2 life. And then level 3, 3 and a white, whenever you cast a spell, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Wheeler.
Bit of a turd sandwich here, Serge. The first ability, pretty strong.
Yeah,
right?
Innkeeper's Talent again,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, just repeatedly. Well, the talent triggers at beginning of combat, I believe. This you have to commit to
It's a
attack.
bit more work. But
Oh, interesting. Right,
That's
yeah.
not the end of the world. If you're playing this card in your deck, you're probably looking to attack anyways. And
The other
it's fine.
two,
That's
yeah.
just a reasonable rate. Level 2, what?
why?
You have the mana lying around, which is, for what it's worth, if you're playing this in like a white X deck, like white green especially, you will have extra mana lying around, and level 2, sure.
It kind of reads like we needed to make level 3 cost this much.
Yes, yeah.
It's a tax to get to the big one, right?
Because level 3, also not. I mean, it's quite good, but it's not like as backbreaking as you would want it to be, but also I imagine this is a card where its play patterns are just like, yeah, you'll level up level 2 on a whim, then on level 3 you'll level it up, cast a dork, buff your team even more, and then just every subsequent creature you cast, you are going to grow your entire board, including the little dorks and cheap creatures you're playing to facilitate this triggered ability. So like it kind of just, says like, oh, you drew a mana dork. Well, here's a bonus. And then you're like, oh, you drew another mana dork. Well, let's at least make the first one a threat. It's interesting. These kind of cards are probably disrespected more than they should be. Like they will kill you. They are very standard coded.
Yeah,
I guess
it's the coolest thing this card has going on in my mind is something to do with your Soul Ring mana and your token stack.
Sure.
Because not that you don't already have those, but it's kind of like it's sort of like an interesting sort of flexible 6 mana planeswalker.
Yeah, mana sinks and flexibility are incredibly underrated.
I don't know where my brain is right now, but when Nelly said the coolest thing about this card, my brain finished to the sparkles on the border.
Oh, that's a nice picture of Leo. Yeah, I don't know. It's
a cool looking card.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Leonardo Big Brother. This is a 3-mana 1/3 legendary mutant ninja turtle for 2 and a white. A lot of 2 and a white so far, but it has sneak. So sneak is one of the new mechanics in this set. You may cast a spell for its sneak cost if you also return an unblocked attacker you control to hand during declare blocker step. He enters tapped and attacking. Should be fairly similar to those of you who've played ninjutsu before, but with some very minor and important differences. Leonardo gets +1/+0 for each other creature that you control. Nelly.
All right, it's the 2025-2026 school year. The kids are going to need to watch an old Chris Farley favorite because we got all these white ninjas coming in between the web slinging in green white and now the new sneak cards.
Oh man.
Go watch White Ninja, kids.
Holy moly.
It's probably aged fine. I don't know, actually.
That is a deep
I haven't watched it
and
in
you
the past
endorse everything. Every joke, every accent.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Comedy is comedy. No, oh, my God. Sorry, getting back to the card. Getting back to the card. So we've got kind of a weird one. I could see a home for it in there's 2 things going on. The sneak for 1 white is the better thing. Like if you're revolving your deck around, like we saw you pretty recently on Showdown played Value Blink, right?
Oh yeah.
And like that kind of deck could consider like that deck. You've got about 15 flex slots. You know, you can play a bunch of fun cards, right? Like, so if you want to include Leo as a way to rebuy all of your cool ETB effects on your creatures, you can do that. It also just hits really hard, assuming you're playing like either a token strategy or a mana dorks into lots of creatures plan. You know, it threatens to kill them.
I got a confession.
Okay.
This is a Benny Wheels ad.
Okay.
Like
is it just for that band?
I just really no. I like it for versions of mono white legends or white X legends.
We're going more niche.
Not quite Bard class or whatever, but like I just want this to buff my Yoshimaru, and to do so for 1 mana. Worth mentioning too. Like you do have to cast this. Which triggers
that's different
from ninjutsu. Which does trigger some of the cards that care about you casting cheap creatures, legendary creatures, whatever.
Okay.
It is only 1 mana to do, which is very nice if you're playing a low to the ground aggressive white deck, similar to the Peter Parker Spider-Man, the 1 mana 3/3.
Oh, or no, the 1 mana 3/3.
There's a 1 mana 3/3 with web slinging.
Right, okay.
There's Arachne
as well.
Yeah. And like for what it's worth, this card will kill people.
Yep,
like,
sure.
I mean, how big have you seen Adeline get? Right? Adeline does feed into herself, but like, we've all just been like, oh, I'm taking 5.
Yeah, I'm used. Right? When I see the card, my brain immediately goes 7/4.
Yeah, this isn't a card where I'm excited to slam it into like a top tier strategy or even like a lower a tier 2 or whatever. But it's always interesting to get cards that let you kind of look into sub builds of existing archetypes.
I think it's important also to look at Sneak closer to web slinging than ninjutsu in the past.
For sure.
Because a lot of the older ninjas cared about connecting to get like a triggered ability from combat damage, whereas a lot of these it looks like a way to cheat on the curve and put something out. The timing's a little bit less flexible. You can't do like the tap an L for turn it, bring it back in, because it has to be in that very specific window. But I think that's a better analogy to think about than ninjas.
Which is very weird for a ninja deck.
Right.
It's very weird for that. Yeah.
The fact they didn't just bring back ninjutsu feels a bit like the transformer convert thing.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I mean, the reason behind it, I guess, is twofold. One, as Wheeler pointed out, the cast is interesting.
Yep, it's different. Yep.
And two is Sneak also allows it lets it be printed on non-creature spells.
Yeah,
which is also fascinating.
You
as
can
well.
sneak
that's the big difference.
Yeah.
And we'll get to some of those later.
Yeah, why not both?
All right. Next up, we have Leonardo again, Cutting Edge. This is a 2-mana 1/1 legendary Mutant Ninja Turtle for 1 and a white. It has Sneak for a white. It has Lifelink. And whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on Leonardo. Wheeler.
So
not a cat.
This is also a Wheeler ad.
I think this one's great.
Yeah, I love
Commander players love
I have such a soft spot for stupid Johnny's Pride.
Yeah.
And this one's pretty good.
This one's really
Have
good.
they given us legendary Johnny's Pride Mate at 2 mana yet?
We do.
We have it at 4, right?
We have Treyla Sara from AFR, which is green and a white.
Oh,
but
green, right,
you
right,
probably
right,
want to
right,
be
right.
in green, white, or like Abzan. This is a deck that is the kind of thing where your opponent sits down and you're like, oh, haha, they're playing Soul Wardens. Funny. And then you decide to drop after that round. Right?
One tear is coming down the side of my face. Haha, Soul Warden.
Yeah.
It's a deck that looks so goofy, but is like a pretty reliable 3/1.
This is still your Ruin Your Evening Shell, or is this like a different
No,
deck?
no. More of like an aggressive deck. Like the Soul Wardens that we have are still Soul Wardens, right? They have gotten a little bit better. Guide of Souls is a pretty good magic card. Virulent Emissary from Lorwyn Eclipse, the 1/1 Death Touch that has Soul Warden,
Yes,
pretty
the
good.
green one. Yeah.
But also the Ajani's Pride Mates have gotten better. This one you could just get into play for 1. When it comes into play, you're probably triggering some Soul Wardens, so this is getting bigger immediately. Then it's hitting them, gaining life, making itself grow, making your other things grow. We have Essence Channeler from Bloomburrow, which
That one
grows
flies.
big and can fly. Voice of the Blessed from one of the Innistrats grows big and flies.
That 4-drop that draws cards like multiple times per turn, right?
The Exemplar. Like, you've got a lot of these cards. There's a lot behind this theme, so you're not just like playing. I mean, you might still be playing a worse version of Mono White or something, but like you're committing to this theme and you have a higher card quality. I don't think I'm playing this. I mean, you could use the same kind of metrics that I used for the Leonardo with the it's a 1-mana legend that puts itself into play in Mono White. But I'm mostly excited to look at that ability and say, oh, it doesn't say once per turn, huh?
No, it does not.
Interesting. That's cool.
I mean, if they just printed like 10 more functional reprints of a Johnny's Pride Mate, I think I would need to put that deck together. And try. If you could play like the original standard deck of a Johnny's Pride Mate, like that deck kind of changed Magic. Like the original Soul Sisters, like everyone was like, ha 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 ha, and then it like top 8's a Pro Tour or whatever. Right. You're like, oh.
For what it's worth as well with Sneak, looking at this, because there was a trick with ninjutsu of like you could return a ninja and then to your hand, and then return a different ninja to your hand or a different card. Like you could chain your ninjutsu basically of return this one and then replay this one bouncing another creature, and you can do that with Sneak as well.
Right.
But the Sneak cost being 1 means that there's a world where, let's say, you have cards that care about you casting these spells.
You're thinking about Soul Warden.
Triggering Soul Warden's repeatable ETBs, triggering cast. When you cast the spell triggers over and over again.
Tap you with Tameo, make my clue, pay 6 white mana to flicker these 2 different Leonardos
Just-
into play, hitting my Guide of Souls up to 8 energy.
Just triggering Guide of Souls 5 times.
Yeah.
Maybe my Yoshimaru is now hitting you for 7 instead of 4 or whatever.
And like this isn't the reason you put it in your deck, but it is I think worth mentioning when there's like when there's engines like hidden inside the cards that don't really require, like all Wheeler's talking about to set this up is they didn't block.
Hey, you just gotta, yes, exactly.
Like it's no setup.
It is a play pattern that you will encounter, and like you might have other cards that are going to be relevant with that play pattern, and you want to get the most out of your cards, especially if they're bad white creatures. And Lord knows, I've spent 20 years getting the most out of my bad white creatures.
Let's talk about another Leonardo. Leonardo, leader in blue in white. This is a 1-mana. This is a 1-mana 2/1 legendary mutant ninja turtle for 1 white pip. This time its sneak cost is more expensive though. Sneak is 3 white. When Leonardo enters, if his sneak cost was paid, creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. And an activated ability, 1 and a white, Leonardo gains first strike until end of turn. Nelly.
Wheeler.
It's a 1-mana legendary creature. It happens to be a Savannah Lion, which is like fine. This sneak cost is legit. Like if you are able to sneak this card, you are likely just ending the game right then and there. That's a lot of damage. Right?
And you don't have to play a trumpet blast. It's just stapled to your your Savannah line, not your John's. Pardon me. Yeah.
Doesn't say other creatures.
Correct.
I want to point out.
So that's like guaranteed pushing 4 damage, which is pretty scary. Also, just the decks here are likely to include this in, have access to additional mana through Soul Rings, Mana Crypts, whatever they spend their points on, or like Gaia's Cradles, green mana, like tokens if they want to decide to play this. And this can just end the game while returning, I don't know, Solitude.
Sure.
Like returning a Stoneforge or whatever. The first strike ability is also very funny. It's not like the most exciting part of the card.
Kind of reminds me of Kithian's ability, right?
Kind of reminds me of Order of Leopard.
It kind of reminds me of a Gonjo Castle, is what I want to say. A Gonjo Castle being a legendary land that adds white. You can pay a white, tap, prevent the next 2 damage dealt to a legendary creature. Back in the day, the play pattern of Plains, Isamaru, untap, a Gonjo Castle, turn it sideways. And your opponent's like, well, I'll trade. And you're like, no, you're not. You're sorry. I said it out loud. Like, it's just this, I play Leonardo, go. And they're like, I play a creature. And you're like, okay, land attack. They're like, well, if I block, they'll give a first strike. And then I lose my elf or my Ragavan or whatever, which is kind of neat. It's, this is a Wheeler ad.
No, I'm not saying this is a terrible card or anything. It's just, it's not a card that immediately jumps out to me that's like, good to kick out one of the other cards in the 100
it's Savannah
of any
line
decks
with
I can think
upside.
of.
I mean, that's not rare
it's
in
legendary though.
2026.
Yeah.
That's something I'd also like to talk about. We're all old, so we look at a card that's a Savannah Lion with upside and we go, damn, that's playable. That is not the case.
I think this is the episode where I figured it out because I looked and I was like, it's a Savannah Line. I'm like, you've gotten me before.
Yeah, I like this because it's a legendary Savannah Lion with upside and additional text that can like change how you cast it.
The
and
sneak
when
cost
you cast it
is a neat one, right? Because like it does look like Overrun, and kind of just is, but like you get the flexibility of like it's also one of your.
Is this White Hoof?
Right? I mean, I could see play patterns of like I flicker my Recruiter of the Guard or that warp creature that tutors up a 1-drop or Ranger Captain or Bright Glass finds this, and I just put my opponent in a position where like you have to keep stuff back or you will die. And that's kind of neat. Yeah.
All right, one final Leonardo.
Oh.
This time, the Sewer Samurai. 4-mana 3/3 legendary mutant ninja turtle samurai this time for 3 and a white. The sneak cost is 2 white. It has double strike, and during your turn, you may cast creature spells with power or toughness 1 or less from your graveyard. If you cast a spell this way, that creature enters with a finality counter on it. Do you want this one, Ellie? Should I throw it to Wheeler again?
No, it's fine. This one a bit more straightforward to figure out what we're doing with this. The sneak cost and the cost to cast are the same, and it doesn't have any extra value for sneaking it in. It's a 3/3 double strike. I mean, it probably hits harder, hopefully, than whatever you were sneaking, but it doesn't immediately demand that you sneak it in. If you don't have an attacker, you still get a 3/3 double strike, which blocks great as well. And then it's got this pseudo Luris ability, right? Like Luris or that Sarah Paragon. Yeah, Sarah Paragon are kind of the closest corollaries. Again, don't overthink it. It says power or toughness, so you might be able to like bend how much mana you're spending. But just once per turn, get another idiot back that traded in combat. Get back your mom that they killed with a lightning bolt immediately because they had to. Just bring
souls.
Yeah, I mean the format is about 1-drops a lot lately, especially in white. We pointed out some new interesting ones, but we've also talked about the staples, the Ragavans, the Guides of Souls, the Esper Sentinels, Mother Runes that you're playing in all these decks because they're just so good. Especially if you have a double striker, and you can get back multiple moms into play and then make your double striker unblockable and kill them. It's just a fine consideration for a 4-drop.
Yeah.
This also doesn't have the restriction that Luris has of how many you can bring back in a turn, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, you can
it doesn't
cast
say once
all
per turn,
your
right?
drops.
It just
You're
says,
right.
yeah.
My bad. I thought
that's an important thing to note on this
I thought
card.
it templated it differently. I thought it said you may cast a creature spell, but it just says creature spells.
Yup.
So as many as you want, you can bring back one more time.
Yeah. I think Sarah Paragon is likely undervalued in our format. That card is just very good. And if you've played Vintage Cube, different format, but like Vintage Cube, you're still dying on turn 3 to 5 a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And like Paragon is a house.
I think Vintage Cube is a different format, but I think we're all supposed to try to take as many lessons from it as possible.
Absolutely.
Like you should, it's totally worthwhile. If you see someone do something in Vintage Cube or you draft something in Vintage Cube that you like, try to make that work in Canadian Highlander and prove to yourself why it
is
doesn't.
a closer analog than say Legacy, which is where a lot of people go.
It is for people who don't know Canlander. That is my gateway into the format. It's like, yo, you like Legacy Cube? What if you could just, that perfect deck you drafted, just build that every time? That's your Canlander deck. So I think it's a great lens to examine the format through.
And so this has tension with Sarah Paragon. They do different things, but they look to accomplish a similar goal.
Can we bring Sarah Paragon up just because we talked about it so much for people who might not know the
Sure
card?
thing. 2 and 2 white for a 3/4 flying angel from Dominaria United. Once during your turn, you can play a permanent or cast a permanent spell. You can play a land or cast a permanent spell, mana value 3 or less from your graveyard. And if you do, it gains, when this permanent is put into the graveyard from play, exile it and you gain 2 life. Notably, not a finality counter, which
triggered
means
ability.
it's a triggered ability. So if your Philia that you brought back dies, you can actually respond and cast it again, which is very funny.
Yeah. Only on your turns, at least.
Yeah. So both they both let you play stuff from the graveyard. They both cost 4 mana. This the Paragon doesn't get Caracas or bolted, and can chip over in the air, lets you play lands, bunch of stuff. So everything I'm saying is starting to just convince myself that I just want to play this over Leonardo.
I don't own. I mean, I said it very casually. Like, for people who don't know, I've never seen this card.
I
need to pick up a Sarah Paragon.
It's underplayed, but it's underplayed for a good reason, and the same reason that Leonardo suffers. It costs 4 mana. It's just so hard to include another 4-drop because you're already playing as many as you feel like you can.
Yeah, which is normally 1.
Yeah.
I mean, it's normally like 5 for me, but that's still, it's too many, right?
All right, let's talk about our last white card, the Last Ronin's Technique. This is a 4-mana instant for 3 and a white, but you can sneak it. So the sneak appearing on a non-creature spell for the first time for 1 and a white. Create 3 1/1 white Ninja Turtle Spirit creature tokens. If this spell's sneak cost was paid, they enter tapped and attacking.
Okay, so 4 mana, instant speed, make 3 tokens. Sounds not great until you fight Jason Jobin.
Oh, man. Yep.
Or any of the tokens decks, but I'm mostly scared when this man is piloting
Is
tokens.
tokens a top-tier strategy, or is Jason just built different?
I think that it is a reasonable strategy to put in the top 10 archetypes.
Sure.
And maybe it's kind of cheating because
Mardu, Jeskai.
Well, that's the thing.
Sure.
Is that you just say tokens.
Sure. Okay.
The white X tokens deck. I have seen Jason play the X and a white make X token style cards. And certainly the Raise the Alarms, the 2 mana make 2 1/1s here. This card can be 2 mana, make some number of 1/1s. and in fact can be 2 mana, make 3 1/1s that also just hit you immediately. That's really powerful. But also just casting this at end of turn in a deck that is almost certainly on Mox plus Ancient Tomb, or Triple Mox Saga, or like Mox Ring, Ancient Tomb, 4th Airlingus. Like, they have fast mana, basically. And so this card getting cast at end step is kind of scary. Right, because that's just a very quick way to rebuild the board, even if it's 4 mana. If you ever, I know we just talked about how like you only get so many 4-drops, but if you ever need someone to convince you, like, no, you're not playing enough 4-drops, it's going to be Jason on a Triple Mox.
One of the cards that absolutely murdered me was from the new
Avatar
the
set,
Earth King?
United Call.
No.
United Front. That's what I'm thinking.
Hold on.
of, yeah.
No, that card's great.
Yeah.
The story set, Eldraine, the new Eldraine. It was like this random uncommon 5-drop, but it has Imodane's Lieutenant. Recruiter. God.
Yeah. But they paid 5 mana for that.
We should bring that up because I did such a bad job of explaining it. So what's it again?
Imodane's Recruiter. It's an uncommon from Wilds of Eldraine.
Oh, luckily one side is a 3-drop. But yeah, the 5 mana side, the sorcery, create 2/2 white knight creature tokens with vigilance, and then 3. It's a gray ogre, 3 mana 2/2. But when it enters, creatures you control get +1/+0 and haste until end of turn.
It's actually a bushwhacker.
It's really
Sure.
It's honestly it's still bizarre to me that this card is good in our format.
This thing murdered me.
So many cards that are like close and kind of better aren't. You know, like we really do just pay 5.
This is why I say, like, this is a top tier deck, or is Jason just built different?
Well,
it might not be top tier.
If I may spread some knowledge on
Sure.
it. A lot of people look at cards for Canlander and evaluate them based off of the text and the like power that they bring, right? Like
Yes.
hear me out, and you need to listen to this more than anybody.
All right.
They go 5 mana, make 2/2 knights with vigilance. That's not good enough. Right. Or they go 3 mana 2/2 that gives +1/+0 with haste or whatever. That's not good enough. And in their mind, they're talking about just what the card does here, when actually they need to be thinking about their slots. Like, whether a card shows up in Canlander is less about what it does and more about, do you have the slot in your deck to play it, right? Because, like, Canlander is not really a format where you're like, oh, I got to 60 cards and now I don't know what to do, right? It's like, dog, just put baubles in or whatever if you're really struggling. And so this is a card where, like, if you're focused too much on, like, why would you play this? 5 mana make 2/2/2s and then just like a bushwhacker later, that's not good enough. It's like, well, no, you just have to realize that, like, in a tokens deck, it does everything the tokens deck wants. Now you just have to figure out if it's justified a slot in your deck. You know what I mean?
Right. And the fact that it does both these things keeps earning it a slot back again, even though mana is a lot.
Yeah,
they play mana accelerants.
Magic's not played on a scale where it's so funny because we're a format with a points list, but like it's not a game where you go like, well, this scored 7 out of 10 and therefore is not getting played.
Sure.
Instead, I'll play this 8 out of 10. Right? It changes based on the other stuff you got going on, and like. Yeah, this just happens to do exactly what the tokens deck wants to do.
That's very
If you ever have a War Leaders call out and you sneak in this Last Ronin's technique, they're
dead.
It's like the game is over. Right. Yeah, it's such a huge. The upside on this card is so exciting, like the potential ceiling on Last Ronin's technique.
Yeah.
But
I was going to say, anything else we want to talk about the Last Ronin technique?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, but like Wheeler said it already, like it's going to get included, I think, in Canadian Highlander decks because actually the floor is good enough. Just like 4 mana instant, 3/1/1s.
The card does what your deck wants to do, and the rate is reasonable. Now, the only question you have to ask is, does it earn a slot? What is it replacing? Do you have the slots for it? Do you want to make room for it?
I thought you're still on Recruiter, and I was like,
No, yeah. Like Recruiter is a great example of a card we missed, though. I think we also missed United Front, right?
Well, because tokens looks like crap.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not trying to slag us. I'm just saying, like, it's a cool study.
I'm slagging everybody except for Jason, Zach, and some of the other tokens
couple
players.
people in Discord,
yeah, but we're slagging them too.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to blue. We got a Donatello. This Donatello Gadget Master is a 3-mana 3/2 legendary mutant ninja turtle. Maybe I should just stop saying the words legendary mutant ninja turtle.
No, that's the name of the franchise.
Go off,
right?
Yeah, all right. For 2 and a blue, it sneaks for 1 and a blue. Whenever Donatello deals combat damage to a player, create a token that's a copy of target artifact you control. Wheeler.
This is a blue ninja. That's kind of interesting. Because blue ninjas get played in the ninjas archetype. Not when Serge builds it, but usually when you build a ninjas deck, you put ninjas in your deck. Now,
why am I catching strays here?
What do you mean? Why are you catching strays? Because you're in that chair. This card synergizes with some of the things that you would play in the ninjas deck, right? Like that deck does tend to play Moxen, does tend to play a couple of artifacts here or there, but like not a ton. That's where I'm like, we got a new ninja for the ninjas deck,
and
it's
it deals
in blue.
combat damage, right?
It has a combat trigger. It's like cost. Its sneak or ninjutsu cost is cheap. 2 mana is not nothing, but like unfortunately, it's not doing a ton, which is a little disappointing.
And you probably want to put a Seed of the Synod in your deck if you're going to include this in your ninjas list.
And
it might be worth it.
We have come a long way from just playing Seed of the Synod because you're also playing Trinket Mage,
right?
Like,
yeah. It's like hitting your own Mox is probably the most powerful thing this thing can do. Like getting another copy of your Shadow Spear might be fine.
Well, it's a legendary.
Well, that one's legendary
that's
too.
the thing.
I'm sorry.
I was thinking about the gear. I'm like, Jite's legendary, Shadow Spear is legendary.
My bad. You can second Skull Clamp, lol.
Like second Retrofitter Foundry is not as good.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't say Jite on purpose. I'm like, no,
I know.
I forgot.
So my read on this card is the same as Wheeler's, which is it's really cool. It's really exciting. I don't know how it has a home because the artifact decks don't need this, and the ninja deck can't really profit off of it.
Yeah.
Maybe there's this weird world where like I'm spitballing, but the blue-white artifact beatdown deck could be maybe kind of interesting because
it feels like a stretch, but
maybe. You'll like reset this, bring out a second Kappa Cannoneer, beep, beep. But like
I could actually try it in Grixis Teletubbies because you have a bunch of flyers. Like if you bounce what's the 7-mana affinity 2/2 flying that draws 2 cards? Sorry,
Thought Monitor.
Yeah, if you bounce your own Thought
That's what
Monitor,
I'm saying in that sort of scenario. Like you have cheap creatures that don't grow because you don't want to reset like a grow threat or +1/+1 thing.
Yeah.
My worry about that is that like that deck is, and I'm not saying this as a slag because I love that deck.
It's tier 2,
It's
or lower.
Well, but it is getting better because they just print more. In fact, we have one coming up later. We just have more artifacts with affinity
and
that like you just want to play over this.
Yeah. You'd be forcing it to try this.
Right.
That's the classic problem with that archetype is you have the cards that are not artifacts that care about artifacts, but if you put too many of them in, then you don't have the density of artifacts to make it work.
Not to bring up Cube again, but this is a card that I'm kind of excited for Vintage Cube and like nothing else because it's like or maybe like Vintage itself where you have these like hybrid decks where it's like I have so many artifacts. I'm doing artifact stuff, but also this was a blue card in the pack, and I needed
and I'm going to return this random Thopter token I have to copy my Mana Vault.
Right,
like every blue ninja can bounce your Baleful Strix, so you're just excited for that in Q.
Yeah.
The deck does play Baleful Strix.
It's kind of I'm gonna pay attention to this card.
Yeah.
It's cool. It does a thing that is genuinely quite powerful.
Yes. It doesn't say token. Like the first time I read it in my brain, in case your brain also did this, it says create a token that's a copy of target artifact you control. Any artifact.
If you're on Urza's Saga and you got a Karnstruct out,
free Karnstruct.
I know.
No. I'm agreeing with you, but this is the thing. You can imagine play patterns where this effect is incredibly powerful, but then somebody's like, okay, show me. You're like, oh, I don't want to play that. I'm good.
I can't wait for somebody smarter than me to show me a deck where this is good and just put this card in.
Like most sets have a card where we're like, it does that.
I can say this, okay?
No, I know. It's just at the top of the card, you're like, why am I getting, all the ire thrown at me? And then you say, like, I can't wait for someone smarter than me to build it. I'm like, Nelson and I will get on there. You're setting me up. And then you're like, I can't believe you hit that home.
Why are you catching strays?
Yeah, I can say it. Anyways, now another Donatello. This one is the Brains. 3 mana, 2/4 legendary creature, Mutant Ninja Turtle. For For 2 and a 1 and a blue. If one or more tokens would be created under your control, those tokens plus a mutagen token are created instead. We haven't talked about mutagen tokens. Those are a brand new, I think it's called a permanent.
Yeah, new
permanent artifact token, like a food, whatever that's classified.
token
It's a
type.
game object.
Yeah, new game object. Yeah.
They say 1 and a tap and sacrifice this token, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, activate only as a sorcery. The Highlander read on that is strictly worse map token.
Or a map token where you always get what you want.
I mean,
That's fair.
it's not really strictly worse because you can put it in a deck
valid,
that
yeah.
depends on the +1/+1.
All right. So much for my dunk. Wheeler,
It's okay.
Tell me about Donatello the Brains.
Well, it has a large ass. It has a mana cost with a single pip, and it says if you're making tokens, instead make more tokens, and the additional token it creates happens to be an artifact.
Yep.
We have, I cannot believe I'm saying this, seen game object / food decks put up results, and not just us hopping on Jacob Barrow's wild ride or whatever, right?
They just needed Serge to put the flag down and then they could soar.
Well, it's the trick about the food deck and the game object deck is that you're actually an academy deck a lot of the times. But you're an academy deck that also is like playing Green Sun Zenith often, and you're playing cards that you would only find out about after, like a commander player left their deck at the store or whatever.
The deck list is so bizarre.
Yeah,
It's
it looks
so
really weird, but
it's
like
so weird.
if you wanted to play a fair deck against this, sorry, bud, you're not winning. You're going to get strangled out of the game by dumbasses like Donatello the Brains over here.
Yeah. It's like this and Jahira and a bunch of like really, really weird, as you mentioned.
The
like,
OTJ Comball, you read it and then you just die to it. Like
I love that card.
So
what does this do?
It's a deck, and for what it's worth, I've played this deck myself. I have a version of it that is closer to Sultai than 4-color, where it is more focused on the artifact side of it and looks to combo with Time Sieve.
Yep. I think that's pretty classic in the
very
deck
efficient
combo,
at doing it. Great deck. I don't know if I could ever play it in paper because the management of the tokens is so absurd. And this card's a slam dunk in that, and I imagine it will get tested out in that other deck. I'm not super excited to play this in some of the token strategies that we had mentioned when we're talking about the decks playing the Raphael's Groovy Technique or whatever the hell it was called, right?
Sure.
The Raise the Alarm token decks aren't playing
Ronin.
this.
No.
Yeah.
But the food decks, the
artifact game object deck.
the what's his name? The Tireless Provisioner decks. Let's go with that one.
Yep,
sure.
Can consider playing.
Academy Manufactor.
Yes,
Yes.
the Academy Manufacturer
Exactly.
decks. Yeah.
Academy Manufacturer.
Nope. Sorry, Manufactor.
Manufactor.
Yeah. Or Borboroid.
I want to say partner character select. That doesn't matter for us. But, oh, man, what a cool sounding ability that's so generic. I hope that they bring it back for future video game UB sets.
Yeah, I didn't even read that.
Because it's like character select.
Sure.
I don't know.
It's a little bit better than Friends Forever.
Hey, friends don't lie.
Yeah.
Well,
All right. Next up, we have Krang, Mastermind. This is an 8-mana 1/4 legendary artifact creature, Utrom warrior.
Yeah.
Utrom.
I don't know.
yeah,
Utrom,
sure, why
fine.
not?
Yeah.
Has affinity for artifacts. Everybody claps. When Krang enters, if you have fewer than 4 cards in your hand, draw cards equal to the difference, and Krang gets +1/+0 for each other artifact you control. Have fun, Nelly.
Thought brain in a jar. I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what the right acronym or like spoonerized
Master of
thought monitor and mastermind or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Thought mastermind, because it's kind of the same card, right? You're always paying 2 blue because you can only reduce it down to 2 blue, but then you get to draw up to 4 cards, which is really
means,
exciting.
Which means you're drawing 4 cards.
You're drawing 4 cards. Like, that is the plan. Like, if you didn't draw 4 cards, something went wrong along the way, which it often does when you're playing Grixis Teletubbies, but that's okay. The plan is draw 4 cards. It'd be an even better card if it just let you discard the cards you have in your hand.
Yeah.
But that's not what they printed, and that's totally fine. And this card is totally fine. It's great to have a legendary creature that you don't always feel terrible about getting Caracas. If they Caracas this one, you just get to keep putting them in
Yes,
a worse
please.
problem than
Yes,
the last
please.
time they Caracas
You might be the one doing it.
You might Caracas your own Krang, exactly.
Yeah. I like this in the white blue version for that line.
Yeah, you can play the white blue beatdown version. You can play the Grixis or Jeskai version where you're playing affinity aggro. That's it. It's a really exciting new addition if you're playing, any Sojourner's Companion deck, basically.
Sick. And then on that note, the last card in blue, Utrom Monitor, 5 mana 3/3 artifact creature Utrom Scientist. For 4 and a blue, also has affinity for artifacts, also has flying. Wheeler.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Black.
I mean, the little note is that this deck is we've admitted, not the toppest of tiers, but we've now honestly with this set really hit a density where you're just all artifact all the time.
Didn't we have a blue-white version of this literally in the top 8 one year?
That was several
3 years ago,
Oh,
maybe.
so it was really good and then kind of fell off.
I believe that was pre-Modern Horizons 3.
Oh, well, that says a lot.
Yeah.
I'll do my best to put together a most solid version of this list.
I
think it is tier 2. I think it's fine.
It is not embarrassing.
Yeah.
It is not something. It's something that if your opponent is playing it and you are not prepared,
it's so explosive.
It's the absolute best broadside Bombardiers deck in the game.
Oh yeah. The Bomba's dealing you 11, right? You're dying.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe just red blue. Anyways, I digress. Shall we move on to black?
Yes, let's.
All right, starting off, we have Armagon Future Shark.
Shark warning.
Yeah. This is an 8 mana 9/6 legendary creature, shark horror mutant with flash. And when it enters, destroy up to 3 target creatures. Wheeler, you didn't really get a card last time, so we'll start with you.
Oh, I have to talk about this. Okay.
Shark.
So
Reanimator Shark.
Yeah, you reanimate this shark.
Yep.
It's kind of funny. There are some really powerful reanimation targets.
There's a shark.
And then there's this thing. I did put this on the list because it's about the closest thing that you have to a mono black card that you can reanimate that says destroy your opponent's board.
Yeah.
Right? It's kind of goofy because it has no protection. It's not Archon of Cruelty, which is very strong. But this is, I'm going to wrath your board and you're dead in 2 hits.
Probably
Or
2
maybe
hits,
even 1 hit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's
9 is
power.
so much damage.
Yeah.
It
hits like an Archon of Cruelty.
right. Yeah, it's I think that it is outside of the Archon of Cruelty, Atroxa, Valgavoth kind of sphere of cards. But it's not a terrible threat to have if you are playing that type of deck, like a Reanimator deck or the Reana mid-range kind of deck that we have seen. And this is just one of the cards that you play. Because look, 8 mana is a lot of mana. I'm not going to tell you that you are going to be able to hard cast this, but in the Reana mid-range decks, you hit your land drops. You churn through your deck. You have to land cycle to get your troll in the graveyard to hit your lands. Your points are often, spent in Moxen before you get to the Vamp Tutor or whatever. There is a world where you are casting this in those decks, and it gives you so much time. Destroy up to 3 creatures is a lot of creatures.
And in the games where you do get to 8 mana, you might be really excited to cast it with Flash.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. End step, if they counter it, then you can reanimate it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And in all the other normal scenarios where you'd rather have Archon of Cruelty, this maybe just still does the job.
Yeah.
So it might be kind of a consideration for those decks.
It's definitely a maybe board card.
Or if you want to stay mono black, maybe you're just okay, third Reanimator target.
Yeah, instead of Atraxa or whatever.
So that, in the deck that's playing some mana accelerant stuff too.
You can target this with Goryo's Vengeance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, next up, we have Death in the Family. This is a 2 mana instant for 1 and a black. Exile target creature with mana value 3 or less. Nelly.
So we do play creatures, we just talked about a Reanimator target, and we do play Reanimator targets in our format and 4-drops. So this doesn't hit everything, but it does, and this isn't even the most scary thing that's happening in our format either. It hits a Dark Depths token, and it hits all of the most popular creatures. And it's an instant. So even though it's 2 mana, I think it should be on our radar for playable removal spells. This is less mana than typically gets cast for a prismatic ending. Same mana as gets cast for a get lost. So it's happening. I know that you're used to only seeing fatal pushes and swords and plow and
like 1 mana ones. Yeah.
Yeah, those are going to remain the most popular removal spells in our format, and that's totally normal and fine and good. This takes a Barrogoyf out of the game.
Yeah.
So and that's kind of the best creature in the format right now, and then the same goes for
Oculus,
Johnny, Oculus, Johnny. all of the good Grixis Reanimator creatures we were just talking about, all of the humans.
Exiling Flage ain't nothing.
Yep. Yeah, it's got a bunch of use cases.
I don't know if this is just a correction from the YJ meta specifically, but we are using the graveyard so heavily.
Oh yeah.
Like the reason that Reanimate was pointed to 1 wasn't because of cards like Armagon. It was because of cards like Barrogoyf and Psychic Frog, right? These like really oppressive, cheap threats that you're like, oh, you killed it once? Haha, I'll just bring it back for 2 life or for 3 life, and it can take over the game.
Yeah, the flexibility of that card. The flexibility and the ubiquity of that card.
Right. And so I'm really, the amount of graveyard hate that people are bringing in decks lately just to try and fight that.
The graveyard is a resource that they like to use when they are going to put points of power into cards they're designing, because it is so easy to hate.
Sure.
Which is real great if you're a format with sideboards, because if you want to beat up the graveyard deck, you can beat up the graveyard deck, baby. You can play your Leyline of the Voids, your Tormod Scripts. You can load up 15 cards in your graveyard or in your sideboard for the graveyard. Our format, you gotta play you just gotta play the cards.
I've been seeing D&T lists run Enlightened Tutor for Rest in Peace.
Yeah, that's unhinged.
Right?
Don't put this on the mono white players. That's on like the Orzhov and the Boros players.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, they're gambling addicts. Like let's be clear.
Incredible. All right. Then let's move on to Rat King Verminister?
Yeah,
Yep.
Verminister.
This is a 2 mana 1/1 legendary creature rat advisor for 1 and a black. It has disappear, which is another keyword that we haven't talked about yet. It basically just says at the beginning of your end step, if a permanent left the battlefield, do a thing.
Yeah.
And in this case, it's create a 1/1 black rat creature token and put a +1/+1 counter on Rat King. Tap, sacrifice 3 rats, return target creature card and all other cards with the same name as that card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Tapped, Wheeler.
So, just to be very clear, this ain't Revolt, and it ain't.
Whatever the EOE one was.
I mean, it's
Orbit,
kind of
whatever,
Revolt, I guess,
Close,
but
yeah.
it's also not Void.
Yeah.
You got to
Right.
just. This is the thing where I would recommend just reading the card.
Just get an
In its
English version of it.
completion.
It's
Yeah.
get an English version of Fatal Push.
Well, I mean, don't tell me how to live my life, but if the fact that this can trigger off of fetch lands,
yeah.
it's pretty nice. Oh, there's another one from LCI. The
Oh yeah. Descend.
Descend.
It's not
yeah.
Descend either. That's
Well,
different.
Yeah, this is just permanents leaving the battlefield
Under your control.
So fetch lands, tokens.
Revolt?
Revolt is either player. I forget.
No, it is just you.
Is it Revolt?
Yeah, because Revolt works off a fetch land and a creature
If
leaving.
a permanent left the battlefield.
There's a
James,
chance.
Can you pull up Fatal Push?
Well, there's a chance that disappear, because maybe there's another disappear card here. Disappear is tied to the end step.
Right. I'm sorry. Yeah, we just did the judge video. Disappear isn't one ability. It just cares about
disappear.
permanents leaving the battlefield. Like they're actually allowed to template it.
This is the keyword ability. It's a bunch of related mechanics that have it. You can't treat disappear as a whole mechanic because it's just a series of triggered and activated abilities.
Not keyword ability.
Ability word.
I refuse to treat it as one ability or whatever.
Great. Perfect.
Great.
So,
like we said, just read the card.
Yeah, a cheap creature that makes rats and grows bigger when you do things involving your board. And then this second ability is very powerful.
Yep.
Needs a little work to get going, but like that's not that hard.
It can also sack itself as one of the 3.
It's a rat.
Yeah, it's not that hard. And like in an aristocrats deck too, which is where I imagine you might want to consider playing this, because that's a deck that has cards change zones, has a card that is a deck that wants like you to make the tokens, and already makes a couple of rats occasionally.
Yeah.
Or just, Ocelot Pride is going to get to the city's blessing very quickly, and when you make a rat, you're actually making 2 rats off this card. It's
good.
two.
We found a way to make Ocelot Pride good.
It's a 2-mana card that grows and makes additional tokens, and if you do it a couple of times or decide to even just cash itself in for what it's worth, it is a rat and can tap and sacrifice 3 rats, not 3 other rats. So you just have to trigger this twice, and then you have an instant speed reanimation for, well, whatever card you want. I love that it's templated in a way that says, hey, you rat colony players, you relentless rat players, go ahead. Yeah. Get all your rats.
Someone
nod to them.
Someone who worked on this team was like, look, I've been trying to shoehorn in my rat commander for specifically the relentless rats deck because I'm not satisfied with whatever they're playing right now. You know, I don't know what that is, but clearly it's this now. So congratulations, Relentless Rats Commander players.
Anytime
fans.
Anytime I see a card that is 1 mana or 2 mana that can make additional bodies, like it's worth considering in the tokens decks or aristocrats decks.
Yeah, anything that does a dragon fodder impression, we should be noticing. And this for sure does that.
Yep.
All right, next up we have Shredder's Technique. This is a 3-mana sorcery for 2 and a black, but you can sneak it for a single black pip. Destroy target creature or enchantment. If an enchantment was destroyed this way, you lose 2 life. Nelly.
So this is our first sorcery with sneak that we've had, right, on the show.
Yeah, I guess the technique was an instant.
Yeah, it was an instant.
So, but it's relevant because you
usually
don't get to cast sorceries at this
point in
time.
So I just want to point out, this is a weird one where, you can sneak back an unblocked attacker and get this happening mid-combat. That'll be the most exciting time to do it. But it removes a blocker too, so just casting it before combat is going to be pretty common. That no one's really that excited about the regular version of the spell, and you can't cast it end of their turn, right? So you're always casting it on your turn. It's just when and how much mana you're paying. That said, the 1 black mana, like all we've said with all the other cards with sneak, if you're getting something out of returning that to recast your creature with ETB or whatever it is, for some reason you want that creature back in your hand, great. Then you're paying 1 mana for murder, baby, and it blows up an enchantment, which is something that black does.
Single black,
now.
Single black pip to blow up Blood Moon is not that bad, right?
How often does black get enchantment removal?
That's
the part
they've been feathering it in. Yeah. So, but this one says you only lose 2 life. The other one that gets played the most is 1 and a black. I forget which set this is.
There's Feed the Swarm from Zendikar Rising.
Thank you, Feed the Swarm.
Which you always lose the life.
Yeah.
That's usually been the case, is that you get to blow up a creature or an enchantment, and you just lose a bunch of life. This one says, why are we punishing black for blowing up a creature when we should just only be punishing them for blowing up an enchantment?
Yeah, that one, and then the one that one's only 2 mana.
Yep.
Feed the Swarm, and that's old now, like Zendikar, right?
Yeah, they've been doing this for 6 years.
Have they? Okay.
For sure.
I thought this was, I didn't think it was the first time, but I was like, this feels pretty rare, pretty unusual for the color.
But to be fair, it is rare. Like there's like a less than 10 number of cards now. They just have been doing them.
It is a
every
modern design concern.
The other one we've played is from Duskborn, and it's 3 mana, and it just says instant destroy target creature enchantment. You always lose 2 life.
Yeah, withering something.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a common from Duskborn, and we've played it a bunch in our format too. So cool card.
All right, the last card we're going to talk about, I think this is the card most people are really, really hyped for. It's the Super Shredder.
What? You skipped so many cards.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And it's not the last card because we have a whole other card.
All right. I apologize. I'm sorry. I went from Shredder's Technique to Splinter's Technique. Yeah. I lied. Splinter. Hamato Yoshi?
Get out.
Splinter Hamato Yoshi?
Hamato Yoshi.
2 mana, 1/3, legendary creature, mutant ninja rat for 1 and a black. It has sneak for single black. It has menace, and it has other ninjas you control. Get +1/+1. Wheeler.
It's kind of cool. Single black sneak that buffs your other ninjas. Kind of nice. Ninjas, mechanically, you want to get them in, and then after you've hit them, it's kind of hard to hit them again.
Yep.
Right? Because your opponent can build up a board. That's why a lot of ninjas decks tend to be very heavy on disruption. Of like, you've hit them, now I'm going to try to keep your board clear because my deck is full of 2/2s and 2/1s.
Or like they have to go find an equipment and then they can attack again.
Right. We have seen some improvements in that area, like the Kaido from Duskborn, which is such a great Magic card.
Yeah.
making that emblem is huge for letting your ninjas be able to attack and do something. But having a 1 mana ninja that itself has menace, meaning that it's really easy for this card to get in there, and then you ninja this card out and can maybe draw a card, but then you also just have a 1 mana ninja in your hand now. It's kind of exciting. And then buffing the team is exciting because it lets you push through with your Moon Circuit hackers and your Ninja the D-Powers. I realize talking about ninjas is really tough on a primarily audio medium because, like, you want to be like, okay, so you return this and put this into play, but then you return that and put this into play, or this is in your hand now. And you're like, got it. I'm imagining 5 different zones at the same time. But it all works out, and it's a pretty low cost. So kind of exciting. Also just lets people play ninja decks with more than like 3 ninjas, and really just kind of
catching strays.
No, well, I mean, honestly, it's not just you.
Yeah.
Which is not a downside for the ninja deck, but like, you know,
so many of them are bad. Let's be honest for a second. A lot of the ninjas are bad. Just at rate, they are worse than a mid-range deck. Right?
And like, yeah, you may realistically only be playing 5 to 7 ninjas, and you're titling your deck ninjas. But like that, I'm not. This isn't a side. I've always been on your side about this.
Yeah,
it's the people that call that out as an issue. They're dumbasses.
Yeah,
because that's just like the texture of the deck changes based on that. Oh, I'm Breach Storm. Oh yeah, how many copies of Underworld Breach do you have?
1. Yeah.
The point is that now that we have more cards that can buff your ninjas, that can make your ninjas into stronger cards, that care about you having ninjas, you may be inclined to include just more ninjas in your ninjas deck, which means you get to do the thing your deck is built around more frequently. That's cool.
Yeah. Baleful Strix is no longer the best ninja in your deck.
Right. And for what it's worth, this card is also just, you could play it on 2.
It's okay on race.
It's just a menace.
You,
if somebody casts this against you, you know what's happening.
Yeah. You're
like, oh.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
All right, next up, we have Splinter's Technique, 4 mana sorcery for 3 and a black, or Sneak for 1 and a black. Search your library for a card. Put that card into your hand. Shuffle. Nelly.
Yo. They keep doing this. They keep giving us lately like demonic tutors with like a downside that's not enough of a downside. This card, so I don't know if it's gonna quite join the ranks of Demonic Council, but like it does seem to be that there's someone at R&D who's like, those Canadian Highlander kids, we need to give them some more demonic tutors. Because I don't know, the sneak cost to me does not dissuade me from wanting to try this. Like 3 and a black is already a better deal than Diabolic. What's it called?
Diabolic Tutor.
Diabolic Tutor. Thank you. The Diabolic Tutor, which we've played a bunch. When you can go find Black Lotus, you know, like your Demonic Tutor costing 2 more mana just means that your equation works out a little differently, but like doesn't mean you don't win the game.
It's been a while, but it is embarrassing how many dual lands have been won off the back of Diabolic Tutor within like the past 10 years.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like, you know, they gave us that 5 mana one that has cycling, or like
the Razaketh's right.
Yeah, exactly. Like we are not a format. Like if you can play Time Vault and Black Lotus and Time Walk and Time Twister, like you can't be above playing Diabolic Tutor.
Yeah.
So like already this card is kind of exciting and relevant, I think.
It's just nice to have more of.
Yeah, exactly. This is like such a cool upgrade over Diabolic Tutor. There's going to be decks that are only really looking to play it at Sneak. Like if you want to try this out in your mid-range creature deck, I think that's fine. I might want to try it out in Rakdos just to be like, bounce my Chaos Defiler. I don't know.
It's worth also mentioning, even for the mid-range creature decks, it's not that embarrassing to play this at 4 mana if you're just getting a Fury or a Solitude or whatever, or a snuff out.
You're
whatever.
ahead on board. You grab it. You just grab a removal spell or an answer just to guarantee lethal.
Yeah,
right?
we got enough free cards that pushing damage with this is exciting. Yeah. If I may,
go for it.
Step into my mind palace. I've had this version of Storm that I really want to refine, where Storm has in the past, like Black Lotus Demonic Tutor Storm, has played Blood Pets. For those that don't know, Blood Pet is a single black 1/1 that says sacrifice itself, add a black.
I've even tried Basil Throw.
Shockingly good, because you just they let you play like they let you transmute a card on turn 2. They're just mana. They add extra storm. They like get you threshold, whatever. Surprisingly strong, and we have 3 of them. But we also, or 4 if you count Tinderwall. I don't. But we also there are these 1 mana 1/1s that when they die they replace themselves with treasure tokens.
Right.
And I've been brewing a version of Storm that plays all of those cards, and in doing so, you get access to Culling the Weak, a single black spell that says sack a creature as an additional cost, add 4 black, and Diabolic Intent, which is demonic tutor, additional cost, sack a creature. So just trying to max the most busted kind of cards in our deck by playing more copies of cards that we were already kind of playing.
And now you can attack with the 1/1.
And now, I could go Blood Pet. My opponent goes, okay.
You're like attack for 1.
I attack and I get to demonic tutor, and then I get to kill them. I'll find Lotus, play Lotus. Like that's just so funny. Yeah, I cannot wait for the first time where someone's like, "I'm not blocking Wild Cantor."
Right.
Yeah. You absolute melon.
You idiot. Okay. Even just like the amount of Trinket Mage beats that deck has.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure.
Very exciting.
Yeah. All right. So, like I was saying before, the card that everyone is the most excited about, Super Shredder.
Yeah, this card's pretty good.
This is a 2 mana 1/1 legendary creature, Mutant Ninja Human with Menace. Whenever another permanent leaves the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on Super Shredder. Nelly.
They crush the art. I can't start by saying anything else. If you're just listening, go out and Google Super Shredder, because I'm transported back to the movie theater in 1994 or whatever, watching TMNT 2. Yeah, this is a really exciting black legendary Tarmogoyf with Menace. I don't know. Yeah, like threatens to get huge. It threatens to get infinitely big if you have a setup to combo with it. But it mostly just looks like, regular grow creature plus Menace. The biggest downside here is that it's legendary for our format. Like, this isn't a creature that you want to see get Caracas. But, that's your risk. It's 2 mana. It's like a 6/6 Menace.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to do anything to kill your opponent with this. Just play the game, and it'll kill them.
Well, they printed Moonshadow and Lorwyn Eclipsed, and that card, they weren't happy with the fact that card is showing up in Legacy, Vintage, some Modern, Standard, Cube, Canadian Highlander. And they wanted it to show up even more.
You give it a little buddy.
They want it. Yeah, you got to have a friend.
Yeah.
So you play your Moonshadow in 1, you play your Super Shredder, you untap, and you're like, gosh, I don't know if my 9 points of damage is going to kill my opponent. Should I play this Barrowgoyf in hand? Nah, I'll hand attack them and then continue to muck them.
Yeah, just sacrifice a fetch land and then cast Harrow. They're probably dead.
Leaves the battlefield is so funny.
If they crack a fetch land, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the part that's unhinged to me. Why does it count their permanence?
Well,
right?
Serge, you got to sell the set somehow, man.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
you got to sell the set somehow. Brutal.
Well, shall we move on to red?
Yeah,
sure,
watch out for Super Shredder.
Oh,
It's coming for you.
no one has to watch out for it. It's already there.
Yeah.
You're going to sit down at your table and your opponent's already going to have it and you're just already dead to it, right? Yeah. Anyways, Casey Jones, Vigilante, is a 3 mana 4/3 legendary creature, human berserker for 1 red. When Casey Jones enters, draw 3 cards. At the beginning of your next upkeep, discard 3 cards at random. Wheeler.
Goongala.
Thank you. I also don't know what Goongala is from.
Goongala.
Or is it Goongala?
Goongala.
I don't remember that from the movie.
Yeah. This card's very odd. Like, it's the kind of card that you are ideally hoping to play when you don't really have many cards in your hand and you have mana available, right? Like, draw 3 is absurd. Discard 3 at random on the next upkeep, less than ideal. Like, its mana cost is a little prohibitive to trying it out in Dredge, which is where I look at this and I go, sign me up. But maybe that's fine. Because in that deck, it's actually what this card reads is draw 20. You win the game.
Right. Maybe
if you didn't win the game, at the beginning of your next upkeep, you win the game.
Maybe it's worth the mana for Dredge, right?
Yeah, it's hard to see this elsewhere.
Rakdos discard?
I was going to say, like, Rakdos already leverages so much of this, but I don't.
3-drop.
I don't know if they
Rakdos
need
discard
is
though.
the thing, right?
The strength
so
of
hard
those
to fit
decks,
in.
like the
Yeah.
Rakdos or the Grixis deck that play the Ivoras, the Intis, and friends, is that those cards are just good.
Right.
And they you just kind of chain the discard, the draw, and you get new cards. This thing just shows up, says Goongala, and then you're like, what am I doing? Right? If you have mana when you play this, it's pretty great. But other than that, I just think it's a little too ham.
You're never cutting this for like cutting Carnage Interpreter or something like that
No,
for this, right?
no.
But that's sort of the idea you have of like,
Right.
is this an aggressive 3-drop that refills
Right.
your hand? And you're like, no.
It's hard to figure out, if it's actually correct to cut a card for this thing, but like you do have some like green-red monsters draws where it's just like you got a bunch of mana dorks in your cradle and then you hit this and you're just like, I'm just going to cast all 3 of these cards.
I will say it does do something that no other card really does.
Is it Goongala?
No, well, I was going to say Ancestral Recall and then a delayed trigger attached to that where you discard the cards where
Stifle it?
maybe you play this, you Goongala, and then you like upkeep. Lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt.
Yeah,
no, whatever,
that's real. No, maybe. I mean, maybe there's the blue-red tempo deck wants to look at it if you're already jamming all the stifles. Because, like, we got that the Spider-Man stifle. Spidey Sense.
Spidey Sense.
Spidey Sense
That
showed
card's
up a
pretty
little
good.
bit. That card's pretty good. There's the can Tishana's hit this?
Tidebinder?
Maybe?
Yeah.
So, like, maybe that's kind of real.
Sounds like a lot of work just
It
to
is
get
a
it.
bit of work. It's a bit of work. But this is an interesting card.
All right, next up, we have Cool but Rude. Another class, for 1 and a red, whenever you attack, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Level 2 for 1 and a red, whenever you discard a card, this class deals 2 damage to each opponent. Level 3, also 1 and a red. When this class becomes level 3, search your library for a card, put it into your hand, shuffle, and then discard a card at random.
Gambling, I'm in.
Gambling. I'm in.
Wheeler.
Yeah. Wait, I thought this was your.
It might be my turn.
Was
this,
it?
You know
this
what?
is,
I'm sorry.
It's fine. This is the card for Rakdos discard.
This one I
Yes.
like.
this is
incredible.
a pretty cool card for
I think this card's pretty strong. Like whenever you attack, you get to rummage. Fine on its own.
Yeah.
It just sits around. It's something like enchantments. We have the tools to deal with them. You don't want to deal with them. Like it's because you deal with their enchantment, and then you're just going to die to their Lelia or their Inti or whatever. The fact that this synergizes with your Avoras, your Intis, it grows your Goyfs, whatever is kind of exciting. This level 2 will kill you.
Unbelievable.
Like this
Is the level 2 good enough that just regular red deck wins wants to play this?
I don't,
Like
know,
they
I, don't know
tend,
if they have enough card
they
velocity.
tend to attack every turn, so just going like bad faithful suiting, and then the next turn it's like, okay, clock.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen as recent as the year end, like the mono red list that Greg Van Horn piloted, did have the discard kind of cards, right? Like had the Inti and the Avora, not going as deep as like the Anya's Ravager and whatnot, but maybe there's a consideration to stick to mono red with these cards. Maybe get the Marauding Mako in there.
You can play card interpreter and mono red if you want.
So many people are brewing this. Like we've been talking about Grixis like card velocity for a long time. Like we've seen those pieces show up as value cards, but not necessarily as a dedicated deck yet.
Right. Well, I've played the blue-red version of that.
I've tried
I
Grixis
started.
as well, yeah.
I started with Grixis, and I decided that I just didn't need the black cards.
Right.
Interesting.
I think is it or Rakdos is what I would say.
Fascinating.
I think that's the direction you want to go, and having these game pieces that are just sitting there doing a passive damage, this Monument of Endurance and whatnot, is huge. It's whenever you discard a card, not one or more. I cannot get over that. Right? Like we've seen this templated on other cards.
Right.
Every card.
One or more.
Yeah.
Faithless Looting deals 4.
Well, this is why I'm sitting here
Right.
looking at like Psychic Frog's looking at me like, what? I'm not good enough for you in the discard deck, right? Like
I
one of
mean-
the most broken cards ever printed.
Yeah.
That's why I always get turned back into Grixis.
Right. It's very appealing to be like, well, I'm discarding stuff. Might as well play Frog, Reanimate, Barrowglyph, all these cards.
Yeah.
And like maybe there is just a Grixis version of that deck that is better. But from when I played it, from when other people have played it, folks on the Discord, looking into it, it's like, you're just it's okay just playing 2 colors for this kind of thing.
You just
Yep.
also want to be a Blood Moon deck, you find?
Yeah,
Sorry, we're kind of getting off
could,
the rails
You
here.
could be a Blood Moon deck. I mean, look, we've acknowledged this card's good.
Yeah, this card's good.
It's cool, but
every
rude.
stage of this is something that you are okay doing. Even if you're hellbent getting to level 3 and entombing like a detective's phoenix is disgusting.
Yeah.
It's just like it's also an enchantment. So if it gets pitched, your delirium cards, which those decks often play, get better.
It reminds me enough of Profts, where it's just like, okay, this one costs more mana and it requires more from you, but it just seems like this thing that sits around, helps your other plan, and also just like continues to provide you an advantage if the board gets wiped or if everything trades and you have to start over again. You're not starting from nothing. You're starting from an advantage next time you get to attack.
It's exactly what you want a mana sink to be, too, right? You play it, and you're like, I have a land, and I don't want to land. I'm going to rummage. You draw another land, you level it up.
Are so reasonable.
Right. 6 mana in total across 3 turns to get this maxed out.
Most level 3s are like 17 mana, and you're like, I guess.
But realistically, you just need it to be... I mean, you could have the stick at level 1 and be fine, but level 2 is where this really pops off.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I think this might be one of the most exciting cards from the set, at least from like...
Agreed.
Damn, I cannot wait to try and put something together.
Yeah, you look at Super Shredder, and you're like, beep, beep.
Great, I'm going to die to Jason Jobin playing this card or whatever,
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Improvised Arsenal. 1 in a red gets you an artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 for each artifact you control. 4 in a red, create a token that's a copy of this equipment. And finally, equips for a single red pip. Nelly.
Brother, we got another one of these crangs.
Cranial plating, baby.
It's a cranial plating that can make copies of itself.
Yeah.
Get out of town.
Yep.
It doesn't attach itself to a germ, but it also only equips for 1 mana. That has to be red, but I'm okay with that. Yeah. Slam dunk. I don't know.
Yeah,
this is affinity card.
This is the same cost as cranial plating, 2 to cast, 1 to equip. It doesn't have like the instant speed movement, which is what made cranial plating so oppressive. But
instead, it's this messed up mana sink that just makes copies. of itself.
I do.
Academy.
In Wizards R&D. Now, I was there at the Wizards R&D headquarters sometime last year, and they did actually have a shrine to the God of Equipment.
Oh, nice.
When I was there.
is it just me?
Well, and I watched a couple of Wizards employees in their ceremonial robes approach the statue and go, "Oh, great God of Equipment, I ask of thee anything, a crumb, another bone splitter, perchance a different Jite." And the statue raises its hand and goes, "Silence! A 7th cranial plating."
But I mean, we're playing them.
every set. Every set.
I mean,
I'm complaining.
But this one's so much cheaper.
This one's sick. Goongala! Yeah, I saw it too. Okay, so he's got a sticker of it on his club's bag.
What just happened?
It says Goongala on the bag.
So we got to figure out what Goongala. I want rock and roll, man.
What
Lucky
does
I brought my own
Goongala
thumbsticks.
mean?
It's his battle cry.
He's okay, but what does it mean?
What does it mean, James?
Nobody knows what it means.
Oh, I
It's
don't know.
provocative.
I just know it's his battle cry.
Oh.
It's wow. Okay. Well,
It's what the people need right now.
yeah, it's great. Goongala. We need to reclaim the word goon. That's for a different podcast.
Right. On a different channel.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Watch out for Improvised Arsenal, though. It'll club you.
Next up.
Oh no, he got the Goongala. Got him.
Oh, God, I got the black Goongala lung. All right. Raphael, the Night Watcher, is a 4-mana 2/3 legendary creature mutant ninja turtle. It has sneak for 1 red, and it reads, attacking creatures you control have double strike. Time to punch in Wheeler.
Man, people are going to die to this card.
Yep.
Like it's a card that I don't know about its longevity in this format, is what I'll say, because it does require a little bit of commitment, a little bit of accepting that, like, casting this on 4 can just kill people.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen people die to Blade Historian before in our format.
Right.
The, like, quad pipped one from Strixhaven that gives attacking creatures you control double strike.
Silverblade Paladin was a house for ages, right?
Yeah.
From AVR, the card that Soul Bonds gives them both double strike.
But just, like, red is already so good at like just messing with your expectations of making you think like, well, I'm taking 4. And maybe at most I'm taking 7 if they have a Bolt or a Monstrous Rage. And it's like, surprise, you're actually taking 24. And that's pretty exciting. I mean, the sneak of this is just 4 damage already, right? Like, I can see a play pattern of this card just coming down and... Well, ending your whole
It's
career.
kind of like the cleave, but you don't have to
I was
risk
going
a
to say,
creature.
this is like Ember Cleave.
A bit like Ember
This
Cleave.
is, I literally was going to jump in as Ember Cleave. Red Recruiter. Is Red Recruiter power or toughness?
Power.
So
There you go, yeah.
I mean, I'd be kind of curious to see this in like a Schmedium Red or like a Gruul Monsters maybe. The double red pips can be a little conflicting, but like, you know, that deck has Mana Dorks. That deck has things, a Birds of Paradise that can turn into a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, which is kind of exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, my little greedy brain wants to put it in Boros.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, again, if I'm running Ember Cleave, there's just the world. You steal wins with effects like this, right? Like you can be behind on board. Like you said, the combat math that they're looking at, and it's just like, actually, you're just dead.
It's just kind of cool that there are some play patterns of like, oh, you have blockers, and I'm going to need you to make a safe block, and then you die with this card. And there's also just games where you're like, oh, turn 4, I'm just going to cast this and turn everything sideways, and it plays out, you know, like a Torbrand or like a Hellrider style card.
Yeah,
of just like
just the big
actually you're just
finisher.
taking 1,000,000 damage.
Yeah.
Neither of those cards have been terribly popular lately, but they have a long history with the format.
Sure.
So, you know, like Hellrider was one of the first sort of like, oh, this is a problem. We need to address this with our deck building
Yeah.
kind of cards, where it was like you need to have more instant speed removal than we were playing at the time.
Right.
And this is also like a pretty exciting Court of Calling target, you know?
It's
like,
just rare to get these red cards that have multiple play like the fact that you can just like both modes kill your opponent.
right.
But like both modes kill your opponent in different ways at different price points and also just provide additional utility at times. Yeah.
This is another one of the cards
Wait,
that's
hold on,
like
sorry.
very, very high on my list.
I talked over you. You want a Quarter Calling this bad boy into play? I mean, that's kind of
He wants to
exciting.
use a green
I know
card
we were
to
just
hit this.
you were talking about the decks with the Llanowar Elves, and then I'm like, well, the most regular shell I've seen Llanowar Elves in recently has been Cradle Control, and it's like that deck plays all the colors, kind of, right? It's basically Sultai, but like, you could just go get any creature, you know, with a bunch of the cards in that deck. You can't natural order for this, but you can like, you know, I'm cord for 7 total. Like it's the Cradle deck doesn't care. I don't know. And like, if you're playing a Hoof already, it's kind of like another one of those.
I've said nothing.
Yeah.
No, your face has said it all.
It's just I'm providing extra places where you could play this card.
Yep.
Well, we
Great.
talked about how that's the strength of it.
And we love you for it.
Yeah. And the final card we're going to talk about today are the Ravenous Robots. 1 in a red gets you a 2/1 artifact creature robot. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 colorless robot artifact creature token, and tap it. Creature tokens you control gain haste until end of turn. Nelly, take us home.
I do think that Wheeler's expertise is important for this card because it is, I don't know if it's like something that deck needs, but if you're on like kind of Eggs infinite combo situation, this does provide you like another win con.
That first ability is unhinged.
Yeah, we've
Wheeler,
never
take
seen
us
this
home?
before. That's fine. We can both talk about it. It's like, so you know, like we've got several cards now. Like we started with whenever you cast instant sorcery with Young Pyromancer, right? This sort of templating that makes random 1/1s, and then they moved over to whenever you cast a non-creature spell. So like that could do it. You know, you can get the same kind of thing that this already makes. But
We
then
have,
just saying,
Healy, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the Sublime Artifice are pretty good at that.
yeah, exactly. But then this one's saying specifically artifact. So now your affinity aggro plan or your robot beatdown or your your workshop weenies, whatever it is, like any of your artifact creatures also just getting a free bump, and for 1 more mana, just giving those tokens haste, or giving or is it Saga token haste? Like the second ability on this is pretty exciting for what it's doing. Like it's more synergistic for the decks that are trying to play artifact aggro. And this kind of a fair card, it's more exciting than any of the other templating we've seen yet.
Just redundancy on your like pinnacle emissary type of cards.
I was looking at EOE, of course, had a lot of cards.
I'm sorry, right? Does Pinnacle Emissary have the same templating? My bad. That one is 3 mana though.
Yeah.
Although you can warp it.
You can warp it for what?
Yeah. So you can, but it doesn't also give those tokens haste.
No. Yeah.
So
the giving the tokens haste is like this will pop up at times when you're like popping off and like, you know, making multiple constructs or you know, just even just like you cast a bunch of spells and you're like, well, give them all haste.
Yeah.
It's kind of exciting.
It's an exciting little card.
Mm-hmm.
Any final thoughts today? Shall we wrap it up and leave it for part 2?
Sure.
Yeah. Goongala.
Goongala, everybody. That's the word of the day. We look forward to you explaining to us in the comments what that all means. That's been part 1 of our set review. We covered white, blue, black, and red cards. Stay tuned for part 2 of our set review where we wrap it all up in a nice little bow, a little pizza bow, and send it home. A reminder that everything we do is brought to you by you, with your support of the Patreon. Patreon.com/loadingreadyrun Goongala. If you want to buy any of these cards, consider Card Kingdom. CardKingdom.com/LRR lets them know that we sent you. Ask for a button. Maybe the button will say Goongala. Who knows?
That's probably copyright.
And finally, if you want to protect your cards, use the best Dragon Shield at checkout from their store. You can use code LRRMTG5 for 5% off. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, if you want to talk about cards, hit us in the comments down below. I've been Serge, joined by the wonderful Nelly.
Power.
Wheeler.
I just hope I'm the prettiest girl at the Goon Gala.
And thank you to James for running tech.
Still have nothing.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you at part 2. Bye.